Joining me now here at the NDTV studio at Davos, mining baron Anil Agarwal, chairman of Vedanta Resources. Mr. Agarwal, thanks so much for talking to us here on NDTV. You clearly make India proud. You're one of India's most successful self-made industrialists. When you come here in Davos, do you feel that the mood around India is changing? Are people talking positively about India now?
Has to change. That's the last option the world has. You know, on the back of China, they've run 15 years. FT, the 3 days back cover, India going to supersede China. I was surprised. That was the territorial. So the mood is definitely there. Definitely there is a question mark. What they have seen in the background.
What are the question marks? What are the concerns?
Fundamental concern is that the approval, the simplification, the bureaucracy, the arbitration,
right.
What China has done. No, this is our chance. The world has getting through their eradicating their poverty. China has done it. Brazil has done it.
Right.
Mexico has done it. India, we have to eradicate our poverty, create huge job. And what our Prime Minister says, that the $20 trillion from $2 trillion to get the FDI, what we have about $20 billion today, to go to $150 billion to catch up China. Today, similar population, we have a 1/10 of the consumption of China. You can imagine.
A big catch-up game to play, especially as far as consumption goes. Let me now talk to you about the other big theme here that we are talking in Davos. Everyone seems to be talking about it, and that's clearly the mayhem that we are seeing in world oil prices. Commodities are going through a crash, literally. How badly is it impacting large giants worldwide?
For India, it's a boom. $100 billion getting our finance minister must be having a great smile. It's a big money. He can create. His important thing is on that $100 billion, he can leverage another $300 billion.
Absolutely.
And he can create all the infrastructure. He can fulfill all his dream come true.
But there's also political pressure to keep on passing on that benefit to consumers, because at least in terms of petrol and diesel prices, those are two deregulated products. So while we are seeing overall the subsidy bill come down, but there's also pressure to go on passing it on to consumers.
But the foreign exchange,
right,
will be saving.
Right.
That's very important.
Just in terms of the money that we spend on importing crude oil.
Yes.
Right.
But if you look at I have what India, we have always been a service industry. Right. Very good. Like if you look at, we have done well in IT, we have done well in pharmaceutical, we have done well in telecom,
right.
banking, but it's a time manufacturing. Right. It's a time to make in India, to find in India.
Right.
If you see the and what I can see, what government has taken initiative, huge initiative in the pipeline. These are huge projects.
Yes.
Whether you talk about the power industry, which is a 30-40 megawatts, is all ready to complete that, to have a steel industry, which is trending. You have all the underground railway stations.
For India, it is really the best news that the Indian government could have got was the crash in oil prices. It's going to help in lowering the overall subsidy bill, in managing inflation, in bringing down the current account deficit, the fiscal deficit. So fantastic news, clearly, for countries like India. But the impact it's having on companies is the other part of the story. Well, it's good news for some, it's not so good news for the others.
Always the case. Always. But India, what I'm looking at India, to complete all the pipeline. Right. Instead of, that's the focus. You have a lot of sealing, the highways, all are been in the process. You have to restructure them, finance them, complete that project. That itself will start the economy.
You're saying this is a golden opportunity, but because we've seen such savings coming in on account of the reduction in our import bill on oil, we should use that money now towards infrastructure, towards building highways.
But two phases. One is that whatever is in the pipeline, whether it's a NREGA scheme, anything in the pipeline, the huge projects are there. To make that effort. The one promoter is not working, other must work, or same promoter, you finance them, do it. The project must be complete. That itself will start the economy. Number two, our public sector. It's a very important that this government is recognizing the public sector.
Right.
The public sector CEOs are phenomenal.
Right.
I know they are the amazing 60-70% of economy in India is the public sector.
Sure.
And there's the first time I'm finding the public sector has been recognized. They have been making a public and private partnership.
That's right.
Whereby they're selling
That's
the
a
share.
very positive move forward.
Whether it's a ONGC, you have power companies, you have steel companies.
The disinvestment process not moving on track. One had expected the government to move much faster on disinvestment. That clearly hasn't happened.
That should happen. That should happen, and the government has it in agenda. But the public sector CEO must be recognized,
Right.
and which is happening. Because they are the people who's going to start. I've seen the State Bank of India chairman, how strong personality, she's a very decisive.
Yes.
Like that, you have 50 companies in India. And those companies, they start. The economy will move.
Okay, let me quickly get a view from you now on some of the reforms initiated by this government. The government pushing through some critical reforms through the ordinance route. Whether it is the ordinance for coal auctions, again something that impacts your sector, or it is the mining ordinances. Your views on the fact that the government has decided to push it all forward at a time when they don't clearly have the majority in the Rajya Sabha.
This is the fundamental for the manufacturing. Whatever required, the public support, the huge job creation is in the manufacturing. Job creation is in the oil industry.
Right.
See, above the ground, under the ground.
Right.
Under the ground, you have a tremendous. China does not have that kind of resource what you have.
Right.
You have only 3 companies of oil producing. Right. India has at least 140 blocks all around. Those blocks has to start pumping in oil
But
or
do you
the
think
gas.
the government is doing enough, or a lot more needs to be done to encourage oil and gas exploration? Because that's very critical for an energy-dependent economy like India.
What will you do just keeping things just as the ground?
Yes.
The most important thing in this most sustainable and environmental friendly manner, if we can restart what Obama has done.
Right.
He created an energy security. In India, I believe there should be at least 30-40 oil companies to come in.
But coming back to the question on whether you're satisfied with the pace of reforms that this government is doing, pushing through certain reforms in auctions and mining through the ordinance route.
See, sitting other side, people are looking action. And when the action take place, I know whether it's through the ordinance or passing through the bill, but a common man look at the action. And he is looking, the action is being taken. And that's the biggest thing what as a public perceive. I'm sure there will be a lot of debate in Davos whether that will be sustainable or non-sustainable because of being a democracy.
Right.
Being a democracy, there can be debate. But overall, it has been taken very positive.
All right, clearly been taken very positively. I have to very quickly talk to you about something micro, which is clearly plans to merge Kane with the HCL and Cesar Sterlite. The rationale behind this proposed merger, and what are the hurdles that you're facing?
Generally, a country like ours, 1.3 billion people, we have been fortunate to create a natural resource company. It's not our company, it's a national company.
Right.
We produce almost close to 300,000 barrel of oil.
Right.
The people who are running it, they thought that there is not enough oil in the ground. They move on. We have explored. We found 3 more times oil. We are doing it well. Aluminum is a major metal for India. China produced 27 million ton of aluminum. We produce 2 million ton of aluminum.
Right.
And it can create at least 7, 8, 10 crore job. Aluminum is 50% will convert into the steel into the aluminum, copper, iron ore. See the iron ore.
So the merit
why we look
what
at
will you achieve
all these companies which we have, put them together. That's
create one large
company, BHP, Rio, something like this. We thought is the right approach.
Any hurdles you're facing?
Yeah, it's a normal process. We have been evaluating. Nothing has been taken. The banks are supporting. We need a Hindustan Zinc share to be merged, and we have the government has to take a view. Government has to support the business. So business when we see in China, $50 billion, 10 companies. We're looking in India also those kind of growth to take place. And I hope this makes sense. We get a recommendation and make a large company out of India, which is a natural resource combination of oil and gas, zinc.
Is the government
iron ore.
favorable with your plans?
Anybody will be favorable because it gives the highest tax.
Right.
It creates the huge job.
Right.
If you say in India which are the company, you say this is the company which is a diversified natural
But of
resource
course,
company.
we need the bulk of disinvestment to happen. That's very critical as well.
Yeah, it's such a small things. This is
Right.
such a small things. As I said, the pipeline, whatever is in the government, they have to do the housekeeping.
Right.
Housekeeping of running all the project which is pending, all the pending. Once that has been moved through, the huge investment will look up to come to India.
All right, Mr. Agarwal, let's end the interview on getting your overall mood on the Indian market. Do you remain extremely bullish on India, and how's India looking vis-a-vis the rest of the world?
See, this is a time where things are not good in the world. But India definitely hope for the world, and if India is open, because India, you can find, you can make it in India, you can consume in India.
Right.
So that's a very big message for the world, and I hope India open up very big way, which is happening. We are very confident on the Modi government with this kind of majority. If that happen, I think for the world to invest in India, they will feel that this is the place to go.
All right, India is the place to go. That seems to be the message coming from mining baron Anil Agarwal. Thanks so much, sir, for talking to us here on NDTV. Pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.